just enough time for one final play in this half. Quarterback adjusting the pattern. Wants to throw on first down. Finds his man. It's sticky. Stopped after a good pickup, and he'll be just a tad short of the first down. We've got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. One more snap coming before halftime. An unforced error there. They don't get the snap off in time. The delay of game pushes the offense back. Now on second down. Power football with the run. He'll be brought down, and that's the final play of the half. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update. LSU ready to boot it away and open this second half. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. And here comes the Texas offense back on the field. A big reason they find themselves trailing to start the second half, those 2 turnovers in the first.
Yeah, and I think coaches will tell you the number one thing that you got to make sure you do is take care of the football. You want to create explosives, you want to put up a bunch of yards, but step one, Jesse, taking care of the football.
It just goes to show you how critical those mistakes are. Only 2 plays. That's really what separates this team from potentially having to lead. If they clean up the errors, they've got a chance to win this game.
That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. Good job by the receiver there not to run into coverage, but to find a spot that the quarterback could throw him the ball.
Yeah, on those types of routes, Reese, they say if you're looking, you're booking. So if that's man coverage, the receiver's staring at the quarterback all the way across the field. That time, the receiver didn't give the quarterback his eyes, so they were on the same page. They both knew it was zone, and they executed that perfectly.
Simple pitch, simple catch, easy little drag route right over the field. It's a nice timing route. You can run it versus man or you can run it versus zone and have a lot of success.
He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down.
All right, nothing flashy there. He just did what it took to get the first down.
The Longhorns have their offense in high gear. Looking to throw on first down. Wide open downfield. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks.
That's a really nice-looking catch, you know, and it's shocking when you think about Texas Longhorn football. Not a lot of names jump out at you when you think about great wide receivers here, right? Yeah, Roy Williams, Jordan Shipley, not too many. This guy, though, I think has a chance to be special. This guy could go down in Texas history as one of the all-time greats.
Makes the grab, defense right there, and they are set up at the 14. And the Longhorns come to the line with a new set of downs. They've marched to the red zone, and here they go. They've got the screen set up. That completion gets them inside the 10, and the defense is running out of room to defend.
And he didn't get a big gain. You want to call that play and probably want to get more yards, but you could tell that was super close from seriously busting loose. Nice job.
Touchdown, Longhorns! Fit it in the window for the score.
One of the areas they really focused on with this receiver in the offseason was we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. We're taking shots. We need you to be able to step up and make tough catches. David, what a grab right there.
And I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your guy, knowing where he's going to be, knowing when he's going to sit down, when he's not. So being on the same page, and then having a guy that can go get it. Just when the ball is near him, he's going to make the play, just like he did right there for 6 points.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup this week in CUSA, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. Sam Houston is in the unusual position of having to come from behind right now, but there's not a soul who doesn't believe they can't pull this off. It's a tight one right now. They're trailing by only 5 to Purdue. We'll keep you updated as this one goes forward in a game that could shake up the CUSA race significantly.
Thanks for... breaks into the open. And they get him out of bounds after an explosive run, just chewing up yardage along the way. Purple and Gold's got this running game going right now. And you don't want to get overzealous here, but this is a type of talent that could do what Leonard Fournette almost did when he nearly got to 2,000 yards in the season.
And I love when commentators say, I don't want to get over myself and get overzealous and get too excited. He's having a day. Get excited. This dude's a beast.
Got the first down and more. And you'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Bayou Bengals.
Another rushing touchdown. That's now 2 on the game. This offense thought they could come into this one running the ball, being the more physical team, and they look like it right now.
And they did tack on that extra point without any adventure.
LSU, 31-6.
That ball scoots through the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Here come the Horns. They've got it again on offense. The deficit here is just 10 points, David, so a chance to answer here.
Plenty of time left in this football game. No need to panic. This offense just has to put a couple drives together. And listen, the defense will get this back and get some stops, Palmer, and get you the football back.
And I think here, too, David, you have an opportunity to keep the pressure on the opponent. Yeah, they just went down and scored, but you score here, and this game's still tight. You keep their feet to the fire, so an opportunity here to keep applying that pressure.
Forges ahead, picks up about 3 to the 29.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down, and they got to keep that up here in the second half.
And this is going to be incomplete on 3rd down.
Well, tip your hat to the defense getting that incompletion because that hasn't happened often for this guy. Completed over 70% of his throws last week. He's doing it again in this game. Can the defense continue to mix things up? See if they can maybe confuse this QB.
Calls for the fair catch, but there is a penalty marker down. Let's see what this is about. The only thing I can think is he just didn't see him signal for the fair catch. That's an easy call for the official, and they'll accept the penalty. Running back searching for a hole. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
And what's the closest guy to the football, man? It's those defensive tackles, and those guards and centers have to work together. They got to get those guys and get some movement. They don't on this play, and the big fella eats. Nowhere to go. When you run into him, you usually meet the ground.
And they'll stop him after a minimal pickup.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
And the defense is swarming to keep him from getting to the first down.
Yeah, not enough movement up front. You got to be a little bit more physical with this offense, but now it's 4th and 1. Another opportunity. You go for it there, you pick up some yardage. Now you made it a little bit short. Now this offense has really got to get physical.
Maybe a tad out of field goal range and way too close to punt it. Kind of in no man's land, so they'll go for it on 4th down. Under fire. Complete and looking for enough for the first down. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense, not exactly the perfect fourth down call there. That took nerves of steel to convert that fourth down on the road.
Oh, man, the crowd going nuts. A big-time opportunity in the third quarter to create some momentum. Help them go crazy. Help them go nuts. But the offense does their job, quiets the crowd, gets the big fourth down conversion.
And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. They'll toss it to the outside on the left. There he goes. Past the sticks, and he may get more. Touchdown, Tigers! And they take it in for 6 more points. They've extended the lead and taken control here in Week 9. The kick is up and good and put 1 more on the lead.
This is a guy that put a lot of pressure on himself coming in this season. He felt like he was ready to have a breakout year. He knew he had all the tools in the toolbox to be able to get it done, and he's showing it. That's his 10th rushing touchdown on the season.
Hauls it in inside his 20, and here he comes. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. They'll snap the ball. First play of the drive coming from their own 24. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Makes the catch. It's Dickey.
And that's why this running back's a big weapon here, right? Because not only can he run the ball, but he can catch it too. Even running flat routes when you know the ball's going to be in the air a long way, he can adjust to it and make something good happen after the catch. And quite honestly, they need him because they've thrown a couple of picks now in this game. They've got to find a way to get this guy more involved.
Quarterback making adjustments. They're looking to throw on 2nd and short. Makes the grab. They'll get him down, but not before he crosses the 50. He's down to the 49. The Longhorns want to crank the tempo.
And it's frustrating as a defense when you give up that first down and you give up that pass play. But here we go with this offense. They're right back on the ball. You got to flush that. You got to get lined up, and you got to communicate.
You just sense the frustration starting to build, not only on offense, but I think with this running back as well. He is so talented. He's had some massive games throughout his career. Just haven't been able to get him going early in this game. That was a pretty good run there. Let's see if he can turn it on here in the second half.
They might have the defense's head spinning a little bit now. Hit him with a big run, now they hit him with a big pass.
Man, it's so hard to defend both. You know that. Which coverage do I want to put? Do I want to put more people in the box to stop the run when you've got this kind of balance on off?
Headed to the end zone, and he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Texas! Got to start cutting into this lead somewhere. Now the question, will they have enough time?
But that's step one. You got to get that first score. You got to get back in the ball game and get some of that momentum back on your side. You still got more work to do, but step one accomplished.
And they did tack on the extra point. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And the capper came on the run to the end zone from the 13. And there will be no return on this one as the ball bounds into the end zone. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Looking for space. It's Ray. Defense makes the tackle, and that will probably be the final play of the third quarter. Guys, LSU has the lead here. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. Not only is the scoreboard on their side, but so too is time as we open the fourth. So the final period starts with a second down play. The run to the left.
And here's the mindset if you're on offense. Fourth quarter, you've got a huge lead. Obviously, you're going to run the football, but just be aware of the clock. You don't want to snap it too quickly. You're probably just doing safe runs inside the tackles like you saw right there. You just got to execute. You got to be aware, but you've got this game in hand so long as you don't turn it over.
Off play action. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
When it's a play-action pass, that quarterback, he really has to sell the fake. He can't tell his offensive lineman's getting beat right away while he's selling the fake. He had no shot.
That earlier sack really set them back, but they'll still go for it here. On 4th down, looking to pass. Bringing the heat. It's incomplete, and they'll turn it over on downs.
I think that might be the very definition of just trying to rub salt in the wound, right? You got the lead, multiple possessions, you're looking really, really good. You're late in the ball game, and you go for it again. So listen, it's their job to stop you. I like the offense doing what they do. Forget you, defense. Get a stop. That's your job, and you did it.
And the Longhorns moving quickly to the line. Gonna swing it on 2nd down. Fires into the end zone. Had it in his hands for the score and let it fall to the turf. It'll be 3rd down.
Hey, quarterbacks got to understand, I know you got your favorites. You're going to look out there and go, that guy's really good. I'm going to find ways to get him. But I got to take what the defense gives me, and double coverage is probably not the avenue that I want to go attack consistently.
Working the middle of the field, and it's complete. And they'll stop him inside the 5, but the defense is backed up in the shadow of its own goalpost. The Longhorns are threatening on 1st and goal. Batted into the air near the goal line.
Tell you what, that was a lightning-fast decision. You could tell he knew what he wanted to do right away, makes the decision, but maybe his footwork wasn't a little bit good, and the pass wasn't where he wanted to put that thing. I know that.
They'll try to slam it in. And this one will be stopped for no gain. And they'll come to the line and try to draw a little bit closer on 3rd and goal. Wide receiver comes in motion. Wants to fire it in the end zone on 3rd and goal. And the pass is incomplete here on 3rd down, but there is a flag. Let's check it out. We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. And they'll come to the line trying to take a slice out of this lead on 3rd and goal. From the gun, wants to pass. Line up trying to get it in. They got him the football, but he could not convert. It'll be 4th down. That leaves him with a tough 4th down situation. You'd love to just chip into the lead, but at this point, a touchdown's what you're after.
And I think it just clears up the decision-making later in the game. But I think you stay aggressive here. You try to get the touchdown. You're not going to have very many opportunities like this left in this ball game in the 4th quarter.
Well, the head coach decided to play it safe on 4th and inches and try his field goal team out there. And his field goal kicker just made him look like a pretty smart guy.
And as the ball makes its way into the end zone, it'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. They were really aggressive going for it in their own end last time and put them in a tough spot, David.
Yeah, aggressive, reckless. They got to find the balance with this offense to really be productive. And last possession they went for it, they rolled the dice, Palmer, and it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, if you're better on 3rd down moving forward, though, you can keep yourself out of those situations.
The give as they work on that clock. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
At some point, enough is enough. This is the guy that's beating me. He's priority number 1. We got to go get him. It's getting later in the 2nd half. I got to go out and make some plays and get my offense the ball.
These fans stepping up to help this defense on 3rd down. Here's the pressure. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch.
I mean, sometimes you overthink it. Sometimes running the football on 3rd and short with the lead is not the worst thing in the world. Keep that clock ticking. But now decided to go for it, setting up a 4th down. And this looks like a situation where you should punt the football.
On on 4th down, looking for the completion. Trying to pick up the first out of the backfield. He gets those chains moving, gets it out to the 42-yard line.
And how about this offense, man? They put the ball in the hands of the guy they trust the most. 4th down, needed conversion. You're wanting to
Oh, he's got some space. Now they're starting to feel it. They've got a first down at the 44.
When the offense can run the football and you can feature a guy like this that will get more yards than his block that you can really depend on, hangs on to the football, like it makes offense super easy, especially down the stretch when you want to eat that clock and you want to possess the football. Just nice to have that kind of guy.
He goes out of bounds after the big play, but there is a penalty marker on the field. Let's see what that one's about. Here comes the offense on 2nd down. Leaves it with the running back. Snuffed out behind the line of scrimmage, and we have not seen much of that. What a day he's had so far.
Yeah, it's a nice job by this defense. Obviously backed up against it. Time running out. Got to get the football back. 2 good plays. Now 3rd down. I stay aggressive. Have to come after him. If they decide to throw the football, so be it. But stay aggressive. Get that football back from the offense.
DKR heating up and trying to make 3rd down impossible here. Looking to throw, it's Mack. He lets one fly deep. Looking to get it in.
This is a shootout. Both offenses up and down the field. They're generating explosive plays. It feels like which team has the ball last may win, but give the quarterback a lot of credit that time because, again, he saw a beautiful look to take a shot into, and he throws an absolute dime.
This time they stop him behind the line of scrimmage, and boy, that has been rare in this one. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Got it behind the line. It's Watkins. Good throwing catch. Takes it down to the 5 as the offense tries to cash in.
I like the aggressiveness by this defense. You got to play tight on the wide receivers. There's not a lot of space on the field. You got to be aggressive, and you got to make tackles.
Trying to get it done with the run here on 3rd and goal. They will stop him short, and the defense trying to keep him alive.
And decision time coming for this offense. How about the defense? They've hung in there, Palmer, made him earn it all the way down. Now, are you going to go for it on 4th down?
Yeah, you know, after running so many plays offensively on the drive, I know it'd be disappointing to only walk away with a field goal, but you'd feel even worse if you went for a touchdown and didn't get it. I think you kick it right here.
Splits the uprights, it's good. And they'll push that lead out a little further.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
So they were able to put up a 3 spot on that last drive, and now the kickoff team out there as they prepare to put boot to leather.
Texas.
And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Looking downfield on 1st down. With the catch, it's Dickey. Not much doing there. Just picked up a couple before going out of bounds to stop the clock.
You know, I think at this situation in the game, trailing like they are with only a couple minutes to go, short throws aren't going to get it done. You're going to have to be a lot more aggressive and start taking chances if you want to give yourself a chance to win this game.
Wide receiver going in motion. The play action fake. And here comes the heat, and they get home, and they get him at the 21. Offense uses a timeout. 17 seconds left on the clock.
Texas.
Oftentimes with play action, you're asking the quarterback to hold on to the ball a bit longer, and you're asking this offensive line to hold up and pass pro a bit longer. Against this athletic front seven on defense, it's going to be tough.
Serious arm strength on that third down pass, but it's incomplete.
After that incompletion, 4th and long now on your own side of the field, you're trailing in the 4th quarter. What's your go-to play call here in the passing game? Where is the matchup that you trust in to come up with a big one to give yourself a chance to stay alive and win this game?
Down by multiple possessions, you can't come up empty on this drive. They'll go for it on 4th down. Now he's going to break the pocket. He wants a big play here late. Hauls it in easily enough for the first down. They get him down on the play, and this big-armed sophomore is not afraid to show off the gun. How much fun was that? I mean, you just dream of having games like that every time you go into the booth. I'll watch those two teams play anytime.
Yeah, that's what's fun about good teams. Really good teams squaring off. Like, there wasn't a lot of difference between these two squads. We could watch these every week. Love calling these games because they're competitive. Great talent on the field. Palmer, unfortunately, somebody had to lose.
Yeah, and the higher-ranked team was ranked higher for a reason. At the end of the day, when it came down to it, they made the biggest plays in the most critical moments. Both of these teams have tremendous playmakers, and they're both going to make a lot of noise late in the college football season, but give the higher-ranked team tons of credit. They earned this one.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.